So welcome to Soul Parent Group. And thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate all of you guys' support. Today, I wanted to bring you my amazing co-author that is joining me in the Soul Parent Project, Sylvie D'Aoust. She is a founder and CEO of Cycle Fitness and an amazing lady. And I instantly was inspired by her enthusiasm and zest for life. So I decided to bring her here to share a little bit of herself. Welcome, Sylvie.
Oh, welcome, Irina. This is so amazing. And I have to thank you so much for thinking of me. I never thought I would be an author writing stuff that I think about.
Right. So please share with us, why did you decide to join into the project, into the book?
I decided to join because, I was thinking, I'm like, I'll pass this up. But when do you get an opportunity to honestly share your story in a book? Like, this does not come around for and ever, so that is one of the things that, and I am not a writer. Like, if you when you read my chapter, I rewrote it and I reread it, I'm like, oh my God. So, I've got a lot of improvement, obviously, as a writer, but the thing is that I had to release the fact that, it's my story and it's not going to be perfect. I am not an English major. I've never been good at English, but writing. But, I hope that people can appreciate what I like, the words that I put on paper. Maybe I can help someone. So I thought that, this is a great opportunity that will never come around again. And how could I say no? Like, this is really cool and fun to think you're going to be an author and to be collaborative too. So it was also not a pressure for me to put together a book, right? I joined this collaboration and so somebody else is doing all the legwork. I just had to sit down there and put my words to paper, and they had editing. So yeah, I am super grateful. I would never have thought this would have ever happened to me.
I love it. Amazing. And Heiko, you don't have to be, I don't think anybody starts out being a writer. You got to first try it.
Yeah, I know.
Just like we don't know how to walk immediately. We first start to crawl and later we discover. And I think we best connect through stories and we can relate to one another like that. And I read a little bit your chapter and I loved, how you're laying out your history and what happened and how you dealt with everything and the lessons you learn. I think it's very valuable. And we all have our own way of writing and expressing ourselves. And there is no good way or bad way. It's just
thank God for an editor. That's all I have to say. I was like, thank God for Grammarly first, but then when you have somebody going over who, just to do the edits, I was like, oh, okay. And then, but the thing, Irina, is so this was like a little thing, and I was like, wow, because literally they're like, you can only write 3,000 words, but you start spewing stuff out, and then you have to take stuff away, and you're like, there's so many other opportunities to talk about different things in my story over just one small area. And I was like, wow, this could be a start of different other collaborations. And I was just like, wow, this is really cool to be in that kind of thought process. So even though it was kind of a little bit stressful, is okay, I joined, and then it's okay, your chapter has to be done, really soon. It's good. I think the pressure was good because then you just sort of procrastinate on what you're going to write. And I did start with just voice to text because I'm when you're walking and thinking.
Yeah.
And then you can you can take that and put it on paper and edit it yourself. So that's how I started with a lot of it, because I was like, man, I don't have the time to sit and type.
Mm-hmm.
And and then tech. So I was just blah 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 blah, And then and then I went back and I read it. But you know how the voice to text comes out,
Yeah,
just like,
yeah.
yes. But I was glad that I got all the points when I was like A, sitting in a car, or B, on a walk, because then I had like a good 15 minutes of thinking out on paper, which was made it easier for me. I don't know how other people did it, if they just sat down in a dark, a quiet space, but I just didn't have the time to do that. So that's how I started. And then I spent a good day like editing what I voice texted and then adding to it. So there you go. It probably took a like good 6 hours, I would say, you know. But then you like, this is a whole thing. It's just like you're starting to think about things that happened in the past, and oh my God, yeah, like, like, and then you have to take things out and you have to add. So yeah, it was a good experience for me. Yeah.
What would you say, like, what was the best part about writing?
I think for me, like in my, like every soul parenting is different. I'd like to think that, I did a lot of things kind of right, even though it was a struggle. Like I'd started my own business. I took over the mortgage of the house. We had a great, I would say like my relationship with my ex at that time was, so it was good for my daughter. I like to think that, it was decent environment for my daughter, and there's, the older she got, the more expressive she was as a child. So, yeah, I don't know, just thinking about those steps and what I did, and I was like, oh, was I good? Was I to take care of my daughter, over myself, kind of thing, which is really, really important for me. Because there's a lot of stress trying to keep my house, first of all, and put food on the table, but and still take care of myself. So yeah, it was a good little walk down memory lane, let's say.
Awesome. What is your, I call it, best advice?
My best advice for solo parents is, your kids need to be first. Well, your kids need to be taken care of, but you need to be taken care of first, right? We always go back to that self-care, and you hear so many great stories about the single mom taking care of their 5 kids, but honestly, how many other stories are we missing out seeing? And we work so hard to give our kids what they need, but remember, you have to remember to take care of yourself, like, and create independent kids. Maybe sometimes as a solo parent, kids grow up way too quickly because they're asked to take on more responsibilities. But, that has to happen. We need to create independent kids and take care of ourselves. So, and not feel bad about that, because at the end of the day, if you're not taking care of yourself, then who's going to take care of your kids if you get sick? And that, and you know how that works, right? So that's my advice. Always give yourself a little bit, empower your kids, because it's the best thing you can do for them without being, I guess, pushy about it. But empowerment is a great thing for a kid, I think.
Yeah, you're right. Thank you so much. I enjoyed interviewing you and had such a great time when you were on a podcast as well. I could talk to you for hours.
I know. You know what? I think that, and that's where it all started, right? Was that reach out for that podcast, and then you thinking of me, and wow, I just have to thank you for that whole, you know, that started that relationship. I mean, who knew it was going to come out to be something like this, right, Irina? I don't know if you're thinking
I
about a
didn't know.
book,
I
right?
didn't.
You know, and then you know, I think you started. Did you have a chapter in a book before you made this
Yes, yeah,
collaboration?
yes. I this year I did my first book. So it was Sacred Surrender in April, and
Yeah.
then I did Revolutionary Leaders in July, and this is
Wow.
third one. So
Yeah.
parent.
So I mean, you're just like a great connector, like bringing more people in to share their stories. And I think this is a great platform. Like, wow. I am super grateful, really.
Awesome. So people, support team, come on, invite other people, invite your friends. If you have single parents in your immediate environment, invite them in. We're going to have a lunch party on December 9th.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you
you
so
can either
much.
support, you know, Irina, or you can support me. We both have Facebook pages. I can share mine, but really, your support goes a lot of ways, and it helps both of us. So,
Yes, yes. We want to spread the message far and wide
yes.
and make this available for other single parents who may be struggling, who are just
Yeah.
stepping onto that journey.
Yeah.
So,
I can't wait to read the other stories as well.
yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.